All right, today's topic, a little out there, a little embarrassing for me, a little awkward, but you know what? I really feel like I needed to do this video. Hope you like it. This isn't going to be one of those videos with like diagrams or any like weird moaning noises, so if you're one of those pervs, you can just, get out of here. Grandmas out there, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anywho. We are talking about sex today, and we're talking about common mistakes that a friend of mine told me about. But I think that if you watch this, your sex life could become even better than what it is. So that's where we're at. Okay, so I'm going to do a little background here for those of you that are new to my channel. I am a Christian woman, so that being said, I try to follow the Bible as closely as possible. I stayed a virgin until marriage, and I'm not saying that as like a point of like bragging or judgment on those that haven't, but I just need to back up on my situation so that you can understand where I'm coming from with this point. So, I was a virgin until marriage, and there was a lot of like build up, about sex, obviously. And so there's a lot of like fooling around and coming as close as you possibly could to like having sex without actually having the actual sex. And so I would honestly say that that's like our mistake. My mistake was to get as close as I possibly could to having sex without having sex, because I was following the Bible and I was trying to be more technical than I should have been. The point of waiting until marriage for a Christian is that you are connecting and becoming one. There is a verse that I wrote down. Genesis 2:24 says, "A man should leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one." So that's basically stating that you move on into your secondary phase of life with your significant other. You become one flesh. So like you're uniting in sexual relations. So when you're kind of like fooling around and you're giving as much as you can of yourself to your partner without actually having intercourse, then it's like it's not really following exactly what the point of the scripture said. So, and then like when you get married, then it's like, oh yeah, we can have sex now because it's technically okay for us to become pregnant, instead of I'm giving you all of me because I chose you for always and forever. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I kind of like think about it in my mind, is that when you're dating, you're not fully committed. You can say, oh, you're it for me, but like until you have this commitment either in a church or in front of your family or your friends or on Zoom or whatever you're going to do, until you like have that like documentation or just that like full on commitment that you're stating like there is no one else for me, until you have that, you're really not fully committed. You may think that like it's fine, it's no big deal because you love the person, but like, I mean, how well has that worked for all of us? Like, how many times did you think that? How many times have we thought that when we're dating someone? You are like infatuated with them, and then you think this is it. You start seeing the future with them, and then you like give more of yourself than you intended to, or maybe you did intend to, but it just doesn't work out anyway. So this is basically like me just saying, like, if you are waiting for a certain milestone, whether it be marriage or engagement or whatever, like hold fast to that, like really commit to that, because it'll make the reward that much better when you're like fully like, no boundaries, no restrictions, just like giving yourself to one another. So that is my point that I wanted to make about that one. So my second point was, I laugh because I'm already looking at what I wrote here. Don't try so hard. Like, don't try so hard to be this like sex kitten or this like macho Fabio man, you know, like, don't try so hard. And I think that was really hard for me because, so my husband and I got married in 2012. And just to like give you a little background of 2012, the top songs in that year, I'm not saying like the best song of the year, but like the songs that hit the like Billboard charts were Whistle by Flo Rida, Turn Me On by David Guetta, Blow Me by Pink, International Love by Pitbull. The top movies were American Reunion. Okay, who's seen the American Pie movies? You know they're all about sex, okay? Magic Mike. So, you know, we're like shown all these different like ways of like how to be sexy and how to turn people on and how to turn heads when you walk into a room. And like, so I think like trying so hard with lingerie and like having a fit body and spray tans and all this stuff like really like played a role into my sex life, because I wanted to be like everything that my husband could have ever dreamed of, instead of realizing like I was enough. And that created like some self-consciousness, like, I don't know, is that the right word? It just made me like really question myself a lot, like, oh, do I look silly, do I, you know, whatever, is he going to be as attracted to me if I gained some weight, you know, all these different things, when that's like not the point of sex at all. So that was like another point that I feel like I really have to get out there, is like, don't try so hard. I mean, for sure it's fun to like put on a really like nice outfit, or like, you know, the lingerie and the special perfume, do your hair the right way, you know, that's fun, but like you don't need to do that to be attractive. And I think there's it's hard to understand the line there. Now that I'm a mom, it's kind of like, you know, a lot of the frills go out the window. But again, that's a different subject for a different day. You still gotta try. Okay, so my next point: speak up truthfully in bed. Like, I think it's so easy to, I don't know why I'm laughing. I think because I just like, I'm imagining my family watching this video. So anyway, I think it's super important to speak up truthfully. Don't try to, I was going to say stroke an ego, but that's a little too sexual. Don't try to appease your partner. Don't over exaggerate how something feels. So like if something's like really turning you on, or like you feel like that's really a good feeling, don't say that's the best feeling in the world. You know, like, don't over embellish just to make them feel better about themselves, because honestly it's dishonest and it's not going to get you anywhere long term. Like, when you're starting your sexual relationship with whoever it may be, maybe it's your first relationship, or maybe it's your first sexual relationship with a certain someone you've already had experience elsewhere, if you are not like honest to a fault, I can guarantee you your sex life is not going to be as good as it can be. So if something feels good and not great, don't say it's great, because it could be great and you didn't say it. You know what I mean? So like, you really need to be vocal, number one, and be truthfully vocal, number two, so that your significant other is like finding the spots and the points and the whatever that work best for you, because like they're going to be building a playbook of like, oh, that worked last time, and they're going to go back to whatever you were over exaggerating about, and you're going to forget that you said that felt so good, and they're going to be like, what's wrong with you today, you know? So just be honest. So go slow. I think it's so awkward to go slow sometimes when you're new into a relationship, whether it's like the first kiss or the first whatever. It is so awkward to like just live in that tension, but it's crucial. It makes the sex appeal so much greater. I just think of the movie The Notebook. I think everyone's probably seen that movie, but there's a scene in the movie where they're having their first sexual encounter, and they literally are standing on opposite sides of a room and slowly undressing while the other one is just like looking them up and down, gawking at them. It's uncomfortable to watch, I feel. Like, I don't know if that's just me with like being self-conscious sometimes and like different body hang-ups that I have, but like just to imagine like being on an opposite side, because I think that our natural instinct when we feel uncomfortable is just be like, come here quick, like let's do this. But if you like go slow and you look and you truly like admire God's creation in your partner, like notice the different things, the soft skin or the birthmark or the whatever, that makes sex so much better. So I think going slow is something that's really amazing to do every now and again. I'm not saying every time, but like just really try to discover each other. Oh, don't feel guilty. That was one thing. Like if you're one that like has some like sexual hang-ups, whether you went too fast with someone and they broke up with you and you felt like, oh my gosh, was I not any good? Or like if you are nervous because you don't want to, for me, this was me, like I wanted so much to like do the right thing that I ended up either like perverting sex by trying to make it super sexy, or like, how do I word that? I would try to make it super sexy, like when we were dating, because I wanted to like keep my partner interested, but really like I just perverted the whole sexual way that God intended. Or I had this guilt, so like when we finally were married, I would feel like, oh, not here, someone could walk in on us, or not now because we have to leave for work in a few minutes, or not now. Like I just always had this like ambition, like always had this like standoffish, like, are we sure we can be doing this right now? Like, don't like pervert sex and don't feel guilty about sex. Like God created it and it's absolutely beautiful. Another verse in the Bible that talks about sex, and it's Proverbs 5:18 and 19. And it says, let your fountain be blessed and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely deer, a graceful doe. Let her breasts fill you at all times with delight. Be intoxicated always in her love. My face gets a little red reading that. I mean, so when you read in the Bible that like it's literally saying like enjoy her breasts, be intoxicated with her love. Like, so why are we going to feel guilty for sex? Like, why are we going to be hush hush and not talk about it? It's beautiful. Like you are literally showing someone like that they are your choice, that you want to make them feel good, that you love them, like you want to have that connection. You want to give everything that you can humanly like possibly give of your body to that person. Like, why are we going to feel guilty about that, or feel the need to hype it up? That's already pretty high. Like if you think about how God intended sex to be, like you don't need to try to make it sexier. So that's my little spiel. I feel like it's something that a lot of people don't talk about because, yes, sex is like, it's a private thing, but also like it's not wrong to enjoy, go slow, discover each other, apply it to your world, like in different ways, like biblically, like your significant other is someone you are supposed to enjoy. So that, again, it's my little soapbox there, so I'll step down and peace out. But I just wanted to like convey those thoughts, even though it is like a really awkward thing for me to do. But I don't know, I just really felt like I was supposed to say something about it. So I mean, obviously, sexual relationships are something that you learn as you go, and just things get better and better. That's the idea, that it gets better. It's not supposed to get worse. It's not supposed to be like, oh, it's so passionate and beautiful and crazy and I love it and let's do it all the time, to it's Friday, we're supposed to have sex, I don't really want to, I just ate pizza, I feel kind of fat. Like, it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to get better. You're supposed to like really know, like, oh, this worked the other night and it was so good and I want to do that again and I want to see if I can make it better. And like, you know, you know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at. So hopefully by the time we're in our relationships, like in our 80s, like we're gonna be like, yeah, you know? So anywho, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. Subscribe, like, notifications, all that jazz. I'll see you soon. Bye, friends.